Society indoctrinates women, socializes women to get married. It's all they are pushing women to do is to get married. We see these messages daily, but then you start to hear and read the experiences of women in marriage, and it's just not giving what it's supposed to give. And these divorce rates are going to continue to skyrocket, especially after this contentious election. It just seems like things are really falling apart at the seams. Women are not holding it together the way that society expects them to. And the men are going to continue to fail and flail as women blindside them with divorce. This woman posted in the Ask Women Over 40 subreddit. She says, "Less tolerance for my husband." That's the title. She says, my husband has a job, making good money, and that is all. He also maybe shows up in big moments like funerals, doing big things that I don't. The everyday things is where I really need him, though, and he's absent. I work a full-time job as well, practically raise the kids myself, cleaning, cooking. He doesn't even pour himself water. He just asks me to. I'm so tired, dealing with a lot of other factors that he doesn't acknowledge. As I'm getting older, my tolerance for bringing him his plate of food and then fetching the empty plate makes me nauseous. If I had the finances to leave, I probably would, but there's so many factors. We hardly travel because of his anger on the road. Me nor the kids enjoy being in the vehicle with him. I just wish I could transport into a life without his anger. It's so manipulative. Even though I do all this, he's still moaning about the house not being clean enough, claiming he has OCD for years and can't live in a mess. What can I do besides leave him? Because I will, but for now, I just need to survive this. So she has to do all of the cleaning. He has OCD, but can't clean. And she works a full-time job. She's raising the kids by herself, and she's just trying to survive. That is where this woman is in marriage. What woman, if they really know what is going on behind the scenes, and some of these marriages, is just signing up for this? Because in reality, a lot of the things, once you pull back the curtains, looks like this. And like I said, this woman is in the comments. Capable Matter says, if you divorce him, he'll have to pay you child support and your life will be easier with one less child. And the OP says, that's if he allows me to divorce him. I'm actually terrified of what he'll do. And so when you read these, at first it's like, okay, just leave. But this woman is obviously in some kind of situation where she fears for her life, because she says, I'm terrified of what he'll do. And she says, if he allows me to divorce. You don't typically need both parties to get on board. If you want a divorce, you're supposed to just get a divorce. So there's something deeper going on. The Purple Grape says, talk to a lawyer or a free clinic. Divorce is different in every state. Is there a safe place you could take the kids and just get out? Your parents, a sibling, a friend. If you're afraid of divorcing him for safety reasons, make a plan now. Corduroy says, this is a good reason to talk with a DV helpline. Being afraid is enough. Verbal abuse is enough. There's help out there. It will be hard and it will suck, but life is so much better on the other side. You can do this. And then Not That Kind of Doctor says, oh boy, this gave me chills to read in a bad way. Call a woman's shelter and ask for advice for exactly this fear. They'll be able to direct you to a legal clinic or a good lawyer so you can get your ducks in a row before taking action. I know if you're in a rural area, this can be hard because calling a resource like that might be letting everyone know your business. You can always call someplace in a different town or city if it's in the same state and get quality advice. If you have any close friends around, let them know what's going on. I will 100% make these phone calls and information gathering for a friend if she needed me to. There are people who will help you. Romina says, being afraid of his anger is a big problem. Take the other poster's advice and get outside support and counsel. As you stand your ground, your husband will lose his and escalate his anger to get his way. Is what he knows, and it's a lifetime of unlearning and undoing that you're in for. outside professional help with support will support you through this. Lena says, you want your kids to watch their mother get walked all over and be terrified of consequences. They'll take that into their future relationships. Think about that. Jagger says, you don't need to get his permission or agreement to initiate divorce legally in the United States. Human Revolution says, have you talked to him about this? If so, just stop doing it. Ask if his legs are broken. But also, are you sure you can't afford to leave? Have you done the math? It might mean a change in lifestyle, but a smaller house, etc., seems worth it if he sucks that much. The OP says, I've done the math. I cannot leave right now. I'm not someone who needs a lot of fancy things, but even the minimum, keeping my kids' lifestyles the same, I can't right now. I'm working on it though. Also, he's not that easy to talk to, and criticism sends him off the rails. Whew. Top Blueberry says, this sounds like a really tough situation, but I also thought about child support. Do you have any close family or friends who would help you through a divorce until child support is set? This guy sounds like a monster. You shouldn't have to live your life walking on eggshells. I also think he needs to know just how unhappy you are walking on eggshells and caring for him like another child. Good luck. And the OP says, if you met him, you'd think I'm crazy. People love him. He's great. All I know is I need to leave safely. And that's the thing. These people know how to change their mask when they get around other people because they need to make their spouses seem like the crazy ones. They're not crazy and mean and angry and dysfunctional all the time. They know how to switch it up. That is narcissism. I know we throw that word out too willy-nilly, but like this person says, that's how abusers work. It's a big part of why they are so dangerous. They know how to put on a good show. Yes. And this person says, yep, it's a manipulation technique. Absolutely. So that when this woman leaves finally, they'll be like, oh man, she was just crazy. She's just bitter. She's just angry. She just snapped. She just left him for no reason because he's been, periodically going to go help the lady down the street, periodically, volunteering somewhere just to make himself seem like a good person, but he's not. Anyways, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. These men that lie about their political leanings and then go off the rails on the women when things end badly, it's something to behold. So this was posted in the text subreddit. She gave some screenshots. She says, ex-boyfriend who pretended to be liberal. We broke up last week and he sent me this today. These screenshots are kind of wild. This man is doing the majority of the talking. He says, can you just block my number so we no longer text anymore? It will make this much easier for both of us. We both agree we shouldn't keep trying. I have no self-control. I don't want to get back with you out of desperation. Just block my number. He says, if I ever reach out to you, it's purely out of desperation. I don't have any self-control. Please just block my number. And then he sends this profile picture of this woman that he's talking to. He says, what I match with compared to you in one day, taller, smarter, conservative, prettier. You are out of your depth. Move on. Keep in mind, he's the only one that's been talking up to this point. She says, are you always like this after a breakup? Stop being an a-hole. And then he sends her a screenshot of a text with Lily. He's starting the chat with Lily. Hi, Lily. How is your day going? And Lily says, hi, it's good. Started off rough, but it's going better. Haha, you. So he sent a screenshot of some text messages that with the girl on a dating app. And then you see he's still doing a bunch of talking to himself. He says, boom, how effing easy is that? You are fired. And then he says, what is wrong with you? Block my number. I don't want to get suckered back into this. I don't have the self-control to say no. I will never marry a Kamala Harris supporter, neither with my mom, dad, Nick, Mr. Corsi, or anyone that I know and care about. There is a complete lack of critical thinking, and I want nothing to do with it. You support everything that I fight against on a daily basis. You are not my friend, and you are never going to be my girlfriend or wife. I will never regret avoiding a marriage with a liberal. Too many hardworking, intelligent, conservative women out there. So he says to this woman, there is a complete lack of critical thinking. And he has said so far that we have seen to block my number 3 different times. But she's the one with no critical thinking. She says, and stop being such an effing a-hole like Jesus Christ. I was very good to you. Why can't you just leave it at that? Such a narcissist. And he says, clown. He says, you'll be the first person I text with a big F you when Trump wins. Then I'll send you pics of me and my new girlfriend, whether it's Heather or someone else. I haven't decided yet. Whew, these dudes are not, they're not well. They are failing and flailing and floundering. I added a new F. Thank you, somebody in the comment section. Here's her caption. She says, dated for a year. He lied and said he was liberal throughout the relationship. I realize now this was just to placate me as it's a deal breaker. His family is conservative, and with the election coming up, his true colors have come out. We broke up last week because of our political differences. I did block him after this. Unhinged. Now, this and Andy was like, he doesn't act like he's old enough to vote. And Barbecue Fatty, and we do love that name, says, or old enough to have a girlfriend. The Unicorn Slayer says, do you know that more than half of the Dimlows that stormed the Capitol on January 6th did not even vote? When I first heard about that, I fell out of my chair. Iron Sheep says that tracks. Andy Panda says that's insane. Quitters. Remarkable Quit says a majority of MAGA act that way. Then they throw out the clown emoji like they are claiming victory or something. One Small Fairy says, this is so strange. How old is this guy? She says almost 30. One Small Fairy says, Jesus Christ, he's sick in the head, like sick, sick. Make sure you keep your doors locked and keep your head on the swivel when you're out and about. I really thought you were going to say you're both 16. Now, this part is crazy. So, Mac Dennison is honing in on there's a complete lack of critical thinking, and I want nothing to do with it. To say, this is so crazy to say, because if you used an ounce of critical thinking when it comes to Trump's policies and campaign, it all falls apart. And then she honed in on, you support everything that I fight against on a daily basis. And this person is like what? Is he fighting to be a raging a-hole and racist every day? Now, hear what the OP says. He is a resident doctor. This man, this unhinged man, is a resident doctor, and says because he is a white male, it was way, way harder for him to achieve this than minorities. Liberals want to make this achievement even more difficult for his future kids. That's just one of the things he is fighting for. So this man is a resident doctor. Eventually, he's going to be just a regular doctor. He's going to be in charge of looking at people. This is wild. He thinks that he's having a harder time achieving things is because mediocre whiteness doesn't get elevated like it used to. Bimpy says, I'd pay to see his reaction if Harris wins. The OP says, if I unblock and he messages, I'll update. All right, so we have to wait a few days to see who's going to win and if he does send some unhinged texts. All right, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. There are way too many hygiene posts. Women are just getting tired, and I don't know what it's going to take to make men take their hygiene overall as a whole collective seriously. I wish the men with the mics in the podcast would talk about hygiene more. I really wish they would, because women are just getting tired. This was posted in the 2X chromosome subreddit. She says, it appears that personal hygiene is not a priority for some men. I'm done. I'm done. She's just done. She says, I'm officially taking a break from dating and focusing on more fulfilling things. I'm from the USA. She says, I care about how I smell and the health of my overall body. I get physicals and visit the dentist for cleanings twice a year, along with my toddler. I am teaching her how to brush her teeth, wash her body, her hair, and wash her hands. I have the patience to teach her because she's my child. A large majority of the men that I meet and have gone out on dates with have had questionable personal hygiene, with the most obvious being the lax in oral hygiene. Their teeth are usually dark in color, jagged in appearance, and it doesn't appear they brush regularly or floss, and they tend to have bad breath as well. I will generally notice this on the first date, and there usually isn't a second. Yesterday night, I had to break it to someone I went out on a date with that I will not be seeing him again. When he asked why, I told him the truth. He neglects his personal hygiene, including his teeth. His clothing also had an odor. He said that no other woman he went out on a date with had any issues with his breath or teeth, but he did admit that he had not been to a dentist in a while. He was 50 years old, or he is 50 years old. He said he felt that women in the past liked him enough where this wasn't an issue for them. He was basically saying, I didn't like him for who he was. And he was also saying that our value system is different, as in our hygiene value system is different. He wanted to kiss me, but the thought of it made me want to vomit. I realized that me trying to teach people and be patient with them about their hygiene was not because they didn't know, they just didn't want to. Hygiene is a major component of attraction for me. I cannot be in the same space with someone on a regular basis that neglects it. And I especially don't want to have X with someone that smells bad. I fully expect someone to not have crusty pubic hair or skid mark underwear. Men usually get mad at me when I point these things out and they just tell me to deal with it. No, absolutely not. No. They have no desire to brush their teeth more or wash themselves more. So, what they usually do is just find another woman that will accept it. So, it appears that my standards are too high. So, I'm just going to focus on other things because dating is apparently not working for me. She is saying, she is saying that having standards for hygiene, having clean underwear, not having, what does she say? Crusty pubic hair. Those standards are just way too, that's just way up there. How dare she have a different value system that includes hygiene and going to the dentist? Oh my, I I just feel so bad for what single women who are dating are going through because these men are not sending their best. And we've called and checked. There's no more in the bag. What's there is what's on the floor right now. September Sun says, stop going on dates with my ex-husband. Seriously, some people are like children. They won't brush their teeth or floss unless you make them do it. They won't clean their butts unless you make them do it. I have kids. I don't want another. This definitely made me laugh because why are so many men not brushing or flossing or cleaning their butts? Like, doesn't that hurt to have a crusty booty? Like that seems that doesn't seem like a way to live. The OP says, when I was younger, I was able to let a lot of these hygiene things slide, probably due to my own low self esteem. Nowadays, I feel physically ill if I kiss someone with bad breath. I can also smell if someone sharted. Ugh, I just can't do it anymore. I'm expecting adult men to be able to take care of themselves. Physical ad says, good for you. My dad had amazing hygiene, and I will not tolerate anything less. My brothers are the same. There's no excuse, and not sure who is perpetuating that it's normal for men to be disgusting. True Creature says, I wish I could say the same for my dad. He doesn't shower very often and never washes his hands after he goes to the bathroom. I've had many arguments with him over it, and it hasn't done one bit of good. He'll go into the bathroom, take a dump, wipe his butt, and then go directly into the kitchen and root around in the fridge or cabinets. It's effing disgusting. Even my 4-year-old nephew washes his hands without having to be told. Feather World says, my dad used to do that, then touch my dogs and I. So effing gross. He would get so enraged when I would tell him to wash his hands or at least use hand sanitizer. It is bad. This is bad because hand sanitizer doesn't get poop off. It just I, what I this baffles me. This baffles me. Neither entrance says, you were nicer than me. I have an issue with nausea, OCD about hygiene too. I had low self esteem when I was younger as well. Now I can't physically be anywhere near anyone who smells. 6 foot minimum distance, or I start retching, like popped a blood vessel in my eyes 2 weeks ago. There are men who keep themselves clean. There are men who know how to use a washcloth, and they will get a fresh one for every shower. I will say that culture differences can be a real indicator here. With my adult daughters, we will talk about things like the bubonic plague, which was global due to the spice trade. Only certain areas were really hit hard because of keeping clean, and having cats helped keep people alive. Then there's a whole midwives kept women and babies alive because they washed their hands. And the doctors were gentlemen, so their hands were never considered dirty going from autopsy to birth with no gloves, no wash. Ugh. American culture and men not being properly raised just makes everything worse. The boys will be boys is a failure to teach proper behavior in all ways, including emotional, social situations, and hygiene. It's them, not you. I can't imagine dating in today's world because I've been married for a while, but I want to wish you never have to sit with halitosis Hal or skid mark Sam again. Whew, same. Women deserve much better. Nonsense Forever says boys will be boys is definitely the root of the male loneliness epidemic. Turns out when you ignore and excuse antisocial behavior in half the population, the other half isn't going to want to deal with or be around the other. Absolutely. That's the problem because hygiene is part of socializing. And if you don't have good hygiene, no one is going to want to socialize with you because you smell. Smelliness is not godliness. It's not. So get some body wash, get some loofahs, some washcloths. It's okay. It's not bad to wash your bunghole. It's actually a good thing. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.